So I'm going to walk you through the Module 2 practice activities. This document is located on D2L, and I'm going to show you how to do all of these steps in SPSS, as well as what the correct answers are, so that if you're stuck when you try and do this on your own, you can see where you're getting mixed up. So when you open SPSS, you're going to get this main screen here. We're going to open a new data set and click OK. Now we see an output window pops up and a new data set pops up. I'm not worried about the output right now, so I'm going to make that smaller. So what is it telling us to do? Create a nominal variable called cat_dog that has a width, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So creating a variable, we want to be in variable view. So make sure you're in variable view in your SPSS. Then we're going to go to the first row and we're going to type in the name. That would be cat dog. Now remember, SPSS has funky rules. It has to start with a letter. There can't be any spaces in the name of the variable. So that's why I have an underscore there. Type. Oh, well, it's numeric, so that's all we need there. Width of 3. So you can either type this in or use the down arrow to get to 3. Decimals, 0. Again, you can type it in or press the down arrow. Then the label is, do you like cats or dogs better? Question mark. Then our values, we're going to enter these in here. They're given to us in this question. So 1 is equivalent to cats, add, and 2 is equivalent to dogs. Now let's say I made a mistake here and I had put cats with a Z or something like that. And I wanted to go back and fix that to say cats with an S. So I can just click on the value label down in this box, backspace, change it to cats, and then click this change button. Now let's say I made a third value that was like birds. And I added that. And then I was like, oh wait, that wasn't something I needed. Again, highlight over the option and then you can click remove and it'll get rid of it. And we'll press OK. And now in our values for that variable, there are some values listed. There's no missing data and we don't need to worry about the rest of this. Unless we want to put in the measure, and it would be nominal. So then we want to create a variable called neatness. It's numeric, has a width of 8 and 3 decimal places. The label is Eric Cartman's neatness scale. Where higher equals neater. More neat? I don't know. There's no value labels, but we want to change the measure to scale. So those are our two variables. Now we're going to go to data view to do step number 4, entering data for the cases listed here. So, oh, I forgot something I wanted to do. I want to make an ID variable. This you can just change to 0 decimals is fine. So for ID, I would like it to be just the respondent's ID, or you could say case number. Okay, now I want that to be first before the cat dog question or their neatness score. So I'm going to click and hold while I drag this variable up to the top. Now they're in the order I want them to be in. So I'm going to go back to data view, and now we have ID, the cat dog variable, and neatness. But we have to enter in our data. So case number 1, we're going to put that here in ID is case 1. Cat dog, they prefer cats. So cats were 1, so that's where we're going to put a 1. Then neatness, we're going to put 4 because that's the value associated with that. Now, case 2 prefers dogs, so that's 2, and their neatness score is 3. If you notice in the neatness score, even though I'm just typing in the number 3 and the number 4, it's still giving me 3 decimal places. Because in variable view, we asked it to give us 3 decimal places. So number 3, they prefer dogs too, and that is a neatness score of 7. Number 4 likes the dogs better, and that is number 2. Number 5 prefers cats and has a neatness score of 5. Number 6 prefers cats, has a neatness of 1. Number 7 prefers cats and has a neatness of 3. And number 8 prefers dogs and has a neatness of 6. Now, why do we need this ID variable? Why can't we just use this first column of numbers here? Well, if we're going to sort the data by one of these 2 variables, then, so let's say I want to sort here. So I'm going to right click and hit sort ascending. Then it changes up our ID numbers to be associated with what we actually input. So if I made a mistake, I can change it. But these numbers in the very far left column do not change with the case number. So that's why we use the ID variable. So while I have it sorted like this, let's go back and do number 5. Change the neatness of the second case from 3 to 6. Now, if it was sorted this way and I looked at this for the case number, I would be changing the wrong case. But now that I know to look for the ID number for the case, this is ID 2, that's the person I want to change the neatness to 6 for. So they're just saying, that's just showing that if you made a mistake during data entry where you had a survey and the person answered that they preferred dogs and their score was 6, but you had put in that it was 3, you can find the survey again to make sure you put in the right value. So now we want to determine the mean neatness value. So there's 2 ways to do this. Let's do the easier way first. So we're going to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Descriptives. Then we're going to bring over the neatness score. So here, if you don't know what if you don't want to use the full name, if you right-click on the variables here and click Display Variable Names, they show you what the name of the variable is, which is shorter. I like to do this because it's a little easier for me to remember a short name. So then I'll bring that neatness value over by clicking this middle button. Then I'll press OK. Now our output window comes up. It shows us descriptives. And our descriptive statistics, there's a total number of 8 individuals, and our mean value for neatness is 4.25. Excellent. So what is the mean value? 4.25. Okay. What number and percent of the sample prefer cats, and what number and percent prefer dogs? Well, this didn't give us number and percent, and since we want that, we're going to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies. We're going to pull over the Do you like cats or dogs question. We don't need any statistics, so we don't need to go in there, but we do need to display the frequency tables. So we're going to do that and press OK. Now in our output, just underneath that first procedure, we see frequencies, and it has the question, do you like cats or dogs better, with the frequency and percent. So here the frequency that prefer cats is 4, which is 50%, and dogs is also 4 individuals at 50%. Now I just got a dog 2 weeks ago, and I've had a cat for 3.5 years. So if you asked me this question, I would not be able to answer you with just one of these options. I would pick both, but in this survey, it wasn't an option to pick both. So just FYI. So that's how we would do this first part.